And hello to all my Cancer friends. I would like to welcome you in. My name is Scott Sagent, and today I will be doing your free psychic tarot reading for August of 2021. Now today they have dialed up a specific Love Corner spread for you. We're going to set it up like a storyline spread. That way we get a few different stories for all of the Cancers, really to find the one that fits you. I have heard feedback that multiple stories do resonate with people at times, and that is more rare, but that's good too. But the whole idea is really to find the home run, the right story that's right for you and your situation, because there are a lot of Cancers joining us today. Now, if the love spread sounds familiar, it's because I just did it last month for you Cancers as well. And it's a rare one for me to do to begin with, let alone 2 months in a row. So it's almost like lightning striking twice. I find that very interesting. And you know, what's going on with your love Cancers? We're about to find out. So the cards are already shuffled. I do that ahead of time to save time. What I'm going to do right now is bring you in so you can watch. Go ahead and hit that like button and build up the energy in here. You guys did a pretty good job with that last month. I will give you credit for that. Alright, so now what I'm doing are my ritual cuts. It cuts the decks into 3 different pieces and puts them back together in a separate order. And that satisfies the ritual aspect of tarot. And then they're ready to run. Storyline spread, Cancer love. That's going to be the base. Okay. A much smaller base storyline than I'm used to, but that's fine. That's going to be standalone. We got these guys here, and we got this here. So we're looking at 3 stories. Okay, so not as large as I was expecting, but now we got to get more cards to describe what's going on. How many inverts? Okay, we're good there. That's going to be fine. And then here. This third one is going to be our biggest kind of love story. We'll probably spend the most time on it. Overall, not a lot of cards. This is going to be one of the smaller stories I've done. Storylines for, well, just storylines in general. But that's fine. So 3 stories to choose from. Let's see what's going on here. Make sure everything's in camera. 3 looks good. Is this one cut off? Yes, it is. You do it like this. There we go. That's about as good as we're going to get. Let's go to work, Cancer. Cancer love. Cancer love. Save 3 for last. Here's 2. And story number 1. A lot of you Cancers are coming out of a rough patch in regards to love, and when I say love, I have to expand it out just past, like, not just your partner, because if you're single, for example, you know, your family falls into love, and your close friends that you love also fall into love. Pretty much anything that you love is the context of what can come up here. Okay, the very first thing is that any of you Cancers that are coming out of a very rough patch with somebody that you love or care about, okay, that's what they show. They kind of show it like a war. Coming out of a war, of course. So that means that it has happened before August, and it's energetically kind of coming into August. You're still kind of getting over it, I guess, to a certain degree. And it may be the other person getting over it too. But either way, it's better to see you coming out of it than going into it. And that is just kind of the turbulent effect of what's going on, and it's a very mental suit too, because it's a sword. It's a 5 of swords, and swords are very cerebral, very mental. So it may not even be like a physical, like, war or struggle. It could be a very mental one, you know, very taxing on your mind. The other thing that they show is, I have an upside down king. It could mean a male that is just not in it, not feeling it, something like that. The other aspect of the king energy inverted is it can say that there's an authority that is lacking here. And I feel like for a lot of you, this could, let me see if I have other kings. I do. It's hard to pinpoint, but for some of you that attach to what I said so far in the story, this is probably going to be the rarest group, just to throw it out there right now. So this is not going to affect as many Cancers. Please stay with for story 2 and 3. But a lot of you that are attaching to story number 1 here are like, this is affecting work somehow. The love life is affecting work. And it doesn't necessarily mean because of the man or the masculine energy, because that it can be read both ways. So it's one of two things. It's either the masculine, the guy upside down who's not feeling it that I just mentioned, or it is the lack of authority in regards to work. And there's the people that are letting their work be affected by this war situation. So definitely don't bring your problems to work. I guess that's good advice for anybody, but really, it comes up for a reason. So really kind of try to differentiate it and separate it out. They say that other people are helping you a lot right now in this situation. Anybody who's going through this is being guided by others, and it may be physical people, or it may be, spirit guide type stuff, angel protection that are guiding you through this situation. And I'm happy to see that you're on the way out of it. So you're over the hump, and now you're kind of like going back down, like into the easier flow of things. But they say, clairaudience comes up, so you can be hearing things like within your mind in regards to this. Basically, sometimes they try to tell you certain things. You may hear certain words when you're just waking up or just going to sleep, or even in your dreams. So pay attention to those kind of things. So there's story number 1. Story number 2, the first thing that they talk about is this is somebody who has, let me look ahead again real quick. Story 2 and story 3 are probably going to be equal footed, probably about like 45% story 2, 45% story 3, and then we got the 10% on story 1. I think that's how we're going to kind of segregate this out. So story number 2, what they're talking about is these are Cancers who have taken charge of their love corner. Okay, so this is taking charge with family, or taking charge in a relationship, or even if you're single, you can still take charge in like either owning your singleness and just being like, okay, I'm good with this. This is the way it is. Or going to do something about it to change it. So this is somebody who's taking great authority. If you're kind of wavering and you're just kind of like not knowing what to do with your love corner, this is probably not the story for you either. This is it's coming up as the king. So it's almost like as authoritative, I guess I should say, as we can get in your love corner. That's usually very good to see. It shows that like you're taking power and control back for yourself, where maybe perhaps in the past other people would control you or would control the situation. So now you're kind of taking authority over it. Very good to see there. They also say that you're doing the right thing. So that leads me to believe that in the past you may not have done the right thing. So there's a purity level here that shows that's coming in very good and clean. This energy is not blocked whatsoever, which is also great to read. They show that, maybe perhaps there was toxicity before, to the fact that now they're talking about how clean and how pure it is now. So you're really a lot of Cancers are in a really good spot in love, regardless of the context of your status. Single, married, relationship, divorced, doesn't matter. It really shows that a lot of you are in a really good spot with where you're at. Or if you're not happy with where you're at least you're in a very good mindset, in a very good emotional health about what you're going to do about it to fix it. They do show that really any kind of fighting that you have in this category is little stick fights. It's super minor things. I say this quite a bit when this card comes up, but this is, there's no getting away from it. You just have to say it. The Spirit views this as like little stupid human drama tricks. It's like this, it's just the stupid stuff that humans worry about. They don't view it as like a big deal whatsoever. This is just something, but we worry about it, and it's a big deal to us. So that's why we talk about it when this card comes up. So this is usually equal level fights or quarrels, and it's usually fighting over something. A lot of times that comes up in the deck that I'm using today here. They show that two people are fighting over something. I don't have any more information on it. I wish I could be more specific, but that is part of a general reading. Like I can only dive so deeply into this because we have so many Cancers joining us. And, since it is a general reading, we're sharing that bubble energy with all the Cancers. If you are interested in specific stuff just for you, personal stuff just for you, I do offer private readings on my website, scottsagent.com. The other thing that they show here on story number 2 is how important it is to prioritize right now, especially since you have good authority and control over your love corner now. They say that it's really important for you to focus on what your priorities are, so that way you don't waste time on anything that's not on the list, or at least at the top of the list. Really kind of prioritize it, because you're also going to be attracting quite a bit. You're going to be co-creating much more than usual in August with your consciousness. So very important to put good things out there so you get good things back. And once you prioritize it, it also helps the other side really kind of do their part better. Because if you're scattered, if you're not really sure about things, they have a hard time putting it together for you. So this way, if you kind of like channel it out, outline kind of, at least mentally. If you're not a list person and you don't like to write things out, at least create a mental list in your head, what your top 2 or 3 priorities are in regards to love. And that way you can focus on them, and then they can help focus on it as well and manifest it into reality. So that's story number 2. Good things to see there. Good job, Cancer. Before we get into story number 3, I see how this is going to tie in directly. We have to talk about the moon cycles. We have a new moon coming in on August the 8th. That is the best time to bring something new into your life that you want to manifest into it. I know I just talked a whole lot about that with story 2. We're going to talk more about it with story 3. Adversely, we have a full moon on August 22nd. That's the best time to get anything out of your life that doesn't fit anymore, anything you don't want or holds you down or anything like that. Could be people, could be stuff. It could be cleaning out a room in your house, a closet. It could be habits, emotional baggage, just about anything. Anything you want to get out, the end of the month is the best time to do that. You try to do it at the beginning of the month, you could still accomplish it. It will just be a little harder to do. So the moon cycles are very important to follow as far as flow. Things flow a lot better when you follow them. And what I've done is I've created a little cheat sheet for the moon cycles, and I'm giving it away absolutely free to anybody who signs up for the email newsletter list. To do that, it's on the website, scottsagent.com. At the very bottom, you enter your email and I think your first name, send that off, and I send you back your moon cycle cheat sheet. And it's not just good for August, it goes through the end of 2021. So it's good for the whole year. It gives you a good reference tool to use for important parts of every single month for you. So take advantage of that. And as we move into story number 3, the first thing they want to talk about is a lot of you have a decision to make that you have not made yet in regards to your love corner. And for some of you, they're telling me that this is a family matter. For some of you, this is going to be an actual lover, but I feel strongly about family here. There's a big family decision that has to be made here that has not been made yet, so they want you to make that decision probably in August. I mean, that's why we're reading for August, so they can give us messages what they want you to do now. I also have, they show that a lot of you have learned your lessons in the situation quite well. You've been through the hard stuff. You've retained the lessons, the important information that you need, and really you're okay to make this decision now. Whereas before, you might not have had all the information, or you might be working with like an impoverished map where you just don't have all the facts. Well, they're not saying that. They're saying that you're actually, you have everything you need. You're just not moving forward with it, which is an interesting thing to say. I also bring this up every time this card comes up in this specific deck. They do show a cat. I don't know if you have a cat or not, but there is a big cat in this picture. I always like to just give the cat shout out. I also have over here they say it's really a good time to be aggressive in this situation, to kind of go on the offensive. The card I was just looking at is the defensive card. I have it inverted. So they're trying to say to do the opposite of that. It's kind of time to go for it, really. And for a lot of you, I know this is a love spread, but that card specifically a lot of times means work. So let me just say, if you're a Cancer looking for work or looking to better your work situation, good month to do that in August. But overall, back to the love situation in the story I'm describing, really a good month to go after it, not to sit back, not to procrastinate, really go on the offensive. And when that comes up, it's like a direct advice thing, like saying like, And when you add it all together too, especially, it's like you have all the information, go do something with it. Make that decision, blow the horn on it in August. But at the same time, the angel oracle card is saying to remember who you are. Okay, so don't do anything that's out of character that you wouldn't normally do. That leads me to believe that you may be tempted to maybe be a little low road, continue to be high road. Don't let other people bring you down or bring you down to their level. Remember who you are and do things that are right for you. It perhaps in this situation is a time to maybe be a little selfish. Remember who you are, okay? And if who you are is somebody who is extremely giving, then that's fine. Go ahead and give. Don't do my selfish thing. But for everybody, it's going to be a little bit different, okay? So just remembering who you are at the core, I look at that as kind of like a more moral thing, kind of the characteristics that make you who you are. Don't deviate from that at all in this situation. While you make that decision, hold your ground, not just hold your ground, but go on the offensive and charge, okay? The last little bit I have, they show you there's a lot of different ways you can take this actually. There's a lot of different love routes. It's kind of showing like, not just like a fork in the road, where a fork in the road would be, 2 or 3 different choices. They're showing 7 of cups. They're showing there's a lot of different ways that you can take this. It sounds like a good thing, and it could be, but sometimes when we have too many choices, we don't choose. And I wonder if that's kind of what's going on a little bit in this situation that I'm describing. They show that really for a lot of you, the path that you want to go on is a brutal one. And I don't know why that is. Maybe some of you have a hard time with change, or, leaving certain things, or changes. Some of you may struggle with changes. But that's what they're saying. They want you to stick to the options and all these paths. They want you to stick to like maybe the couple of the prime ones that just lead you away from toxicity, lead you away from struggle. They show things deteriorating. So, don't let yourself deteriorate from the situation. Make your choice. I would probably advise you to keep it simple. Just if there's 7 choices, let's get rid of like 5 right off the bat and break it down to what 2 are best for you. And that way you can just look at the 2, write it out, and then decide, or just, mentally do the exercise where here's these 2 choices. This what happens if I do this. This what happens if I do this. And just weigh it out, really. I mean, you're being guided quite a bit. I mean, I have no shortage of the angels coming out here, especially this side. This is Archangel Michael. So, I mean, that's about as big as we get. So you're being guided. You're protected in the situation. You can feel free to make that decision as you see fit. Go on the offensive about it. And at the same time, keep things simple. It doesn't have to be as complicated as a lot of you make it out to be. Now, we are doing no extra at the end of this. The reason that happens and it occurs is usually when we have a lot of information, or they just want to focus on what we have. And that seems to be the case today. We have a lot of depth, especially in the story number 3. If you've noticed, I've been talking about it almost probably half of this time, at least, if not more. So that is going to conclude our reading for August. I do thank you for joining me. Please hit the subscribe button. I do these videos every single month. Hit the like if you have not yet, and I will see you all in September. And hopefully there will be no more love spread. We'll get into something different, and this will be settled. So see you guys in September.